Hi guys, my name is Lindsay. I'm here because a whole bunch of people were on my Instagram page, L&R Creations, and they saw my Winnie the Pooh tumbler and they asked a whole bunch of questions on how I did it, what did I use. So today I'm going to show you from start to finish how a Winnie the Pooh tumbler is made. So to start off, you take a regular tumbler. I already spray painted mine. I just took regular spray paint from Walmart, white flat. I let it dry probably for maybe 30 minutes before I start. Okay, so once you have your tumbler spray painted, what you're going to do is you're going to take any color glitter you want. I use this white, it is called Crystal Diamonds. You see it? I got this one at Walmart as well. And what I do is I will then take regular Mod Podge. You can use glossy or matte, I use both. This one right now is the matte. And what I do, let's see. I just take a regular paintbrush and I will go around and paint the entire cup, and then I will sprinkle it on. So I might, if I know how, I'm going to fast forward this process so you can see what I do. Also want to paint the bottom. I always put glitter and a final seal of epoxy on just to give it a little extra oomph and to match the rest of the cup. Get this out of your way. Also, I'm dumping my glitter onto a napkin only because when I run out of it in the cup, I like to stick it and roll it around. That way, when I do that, it also layers out sometimes the lines from the, it's probably hard to see on the camera, but sometimes with your glue, you'll get little raised lines from your paintbrushes. So when I roll it out on the napkin, you won't see them, and I'll tap on it and push it down to make it all level. I also roll it on a napkin because it's easier to dump back into the cup for me. I used to for a while, I was using like paper plates, but I feel like I would have to crack it and I would make more of a mess. But really, anytime you're using glitter, you make a mess. So this is, like I said, I roll it around just to flatten out and make it all one level. I do tap on some spots. Okay. So once you have done your first layer, I let that dry for probably 45 minutes before I put another coat of glitter on. I always do 2 coats. The more glitter, the sparkle, the more shine, the sparkle. I think it looks a lot prettier with 2 coats. Sorry, I'm dumping the glitter back into the container. Now, instead of waiting for 45 minutes, I am actually, because I had a lot of requests for this cup, a lot of purchases, so I already started making a whole bunch. So once this cup is dry for 45 minutes, I'll come back and I'll put a whole nother coat of glitter on. Then I'll wait another 45 minutes for that glitter to dry. Then I start with my fabric. So here's the fabric that I bought. And what I do is I literally just take sewing scissors and I cut out the pieces like this. And what I'll do is, I have a cup that I started. So this cup, I already have two coats of glitter on this one already. So this one's ready for the fabric. What I will then do is, I will take my Mod Podge and I put it on the back of the fabric. When you are working with fabrics and epoxy, it's very, very important to really, really seal it before you put the epoxy on your cup. What happens is, if there is a spot that doesn't have the Mod Podge, the epoxy will seep in, and especially with white fabrics, it'll leave like a stain, and you can really tell. So I really make sure to really, really seal fabrics when using them. I do multiple layers just so I know I get it all. So all I'm doing is taking another brush, a smaller one, dipping it into the Mod Podge and putting it on the back of the fabric. Once the back is glued, I will then place my cup. Let's see, let me get this out of the way for you. To the side. I'm going to place it where I want to. Put it more towards the top for this one. Now at first it's very easy to move the fabric because you're putting it straight on glitter, so it's not very sticky. I just do it just to kind of hold it in place, but it is very easy to move it around and adjust it if you don't want it in a certain spot. So I just have it out in front of me. I'm just looking at the placement of where I want it. Now, like I said, this cup I already started, so I do have some fabric pieces already on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Reverse slightly. Okay, so once you have it where you want it, you will then come back in with the Mod Podge and really, really, like I said, you really want to coat it. I put so much on that you can barely see the picture anymore. I want to make sure I get all the edges, all the corners, the whole inside of the picture, all of it. Even so, sometimes I'll even take the back of my paintbrush and I'll really push down on the fabric just to make sure it's really soaking in and setting. So as you can see, I'm starting with the Tigger. Let me spin this around. I'm really coating that around him and all on him. Don't be worried if you can't see, like I said, the design. The Mod Podge will dry clear, so you won't even tell. Here is one. He has the Mod Podge already on it, and you can't even tell. See, I'm not holding back on this glue. I've had multiple times where I didn't put enough Mod Podge on and it seeped through and it ruined my entire cup. So I'm really pushing with the back. I'm pushing down on the fabric. It looks like there are little pieces kind of coming up, so this is really pushing it down to the glitter. Can't really tell that much on camera. In person though, the picture is a lot lighter. Okay, so now that you have your first coat of Mod Podge on, again, you are going to want to wait like 40 minutes at least for this to dry. I walk away, I just go do some stuff around the house, and then I'll come back to it. The reason I let it dry fully and not do a second coat right away is because it stays wet. You really want it to dry or it's just gonna move on you and you can tell. So once this dries, I will go back and put a second coat on. Again, I clump it on because I do not want any of the epoxy to seep through to the fabric. I really want to seal it. That is why I do 2 coats. Okay. Now, since I have a lot of orders coming in for this cup, I was able to do a whole bunch at a time and stop at certain points because I knew I was going to be filming this today. So I'm going to grab another cup that already has the 2 coats applied to it. So this one has the 2 coats of Mod Podge on the fabric. This also already has its first coat of epoxy on it. Once your 2 coats are dry, you are able to put your first coat of epoxy on. What I use is this pour on epoxy. I get it at my local Hobby Lobby, and I do my first coat very thin. What I personally have a cup spinner, a rotisserie spinner that I have built, and it sits literally right on the spinner this way, and it will spin for me. I will put the first layer of epoxy on very thin, like I said. I let this spin probably for 5 to 6 hours before I turn it off. I'm just a worrywart, and I don't like it stopping too soon and possibly getting drips at the bottom. So I really let it rotate and spin before I take it off. Once your first layer of epoxy is on, you are ready for your words. I always put my quote right here, but whenever you do anything, you can put it wherever you want. It's your creation, your idea. Now, So to make this not an hour-long video or process, I'm just kind of showing you the basics from start to finish. So I already went and used my Cricut. I found my quote that I wanted, I created it, I cut it out. So my words are already ready and for me. So what I'll do is, I'll peel this off. I'm ready to put it on my cup. Okay, once your quote is on, you are really going to want to push down on your contact paper and make sure every letter is really sticking to your cup. You don't want any spots to come up. All right, now once you have pushed down on your contact paper, you can then peel this up. And I go very slowly, that way you know everything is sticking to your cup. I'm trying to go so you guys can see it. All right. Once you've peeled your contact paper off, your letters should all be on your cup. I go back through one more time and make sure everything is pushed down. If you have a corner that is slightly raised, when you put your final coat of epoxy on it, the letter corner or whatever part is up will stick up through the epoxy and you'll have a slight bump in your cup. So I go to each letter and I really push down on it. Okay, once that is done, you are ready for your final coat of epoxy. Again, I will go through with my epoxy here. I'll do, this one is a 1-in-1, so one part A, one part B. I mix them together. I will then put it on my rotisserie, my cup spinner, and let this spin again for another 6 hours. I will then wait probably 24 hours before I wrap it up and ship it out to people. That way it's not sticky. I know it's 100% dry and ready to go. But yeah, that's pretty much how I made my Winnie the Pooh cup. If you have any questions, please ask me below and I will be surely to answer them. If there's anything else you want to see, absolutely let me know. I will try to upload a video probably once a week now, maybe every Saturday if I can. But thank you for watching.